What is going on, Washington football fans? Another video coming at you from the Washington Football Report. This is JD. Before I get started, please hit the subscribe button, notification bells, give videos like this all the time. And also like and comment on the topic at hand. Even if it's just a comment that says good video or you suck, I don't care. It helps YouTube algorithm and it gets the video out there to more people who are looking for similar content videos like you are. So it really helps out the channel. I have over 500 subscribers. I want to get to 1,000. And the best way to do that is a little bit of word of mouth, so to speak, and a little bit of using the algorithm to my advantage. So if you can do that, that'd be wonderful. But now, topic at hand. Today, I am doing a bowl predictions video. I did one last year, bowl predictions, and I'm going to do one this year. Okay, this is going to be before preseason, so I may modify this after preseason before the season actually starts. But bowl prediction. First bold prediction, which this one isn't really that bold. We will have a top 2 defense by the end of the year, both run and pass, top 2 defense. We will have the highest rated run and block defense, or at least one of the two, by the end of the season. That's the first bold prediction I'm making. Second, we will lead the league in sacks. We have 2 very good defensive ends that are sack experts. We have Deron Payne, who is very good. He eats up a lot of blocks, makes it so the other guys can get one-on-one and can beat guys one-on-one. John Allen's back, and he's signed long-term. He's going to be very useful in this regard. You also have Matt Ioannidis back, so it gives us a little bit more depth at that position, and he actually is very good at getting upfield and getting sacks as well. And then you add in Tim Settle, who last year he got 6 sacks and he plays part-time. So you factor all that in, and we have other guys that get sacks too. We have John Bostic last year got some sacks, called Holcomb. We blitz off the blitzes. We got guys that can get to the quarterback. Is basically what I'm getting at with this. So I think we'll lead the league in sacks, and we won't just have one player gets all of them. I think it's going to be by community, by a whole team of guys getting to the quarterback consistently. So that's the first real. Second real bold prediction is we'll lead the league in sacks, and the first one was we'll have a top 2 defense. Okay. Next bold prediction, we're gonna have double-digit interceptions this year, easily. So we're gonna have double-digit interceptions this year. I think the combination of a handful of people are going to help with that. We have Bobby McCain back there. He's a pretty good defensive back when it comes to coverage. Okay, Landon Collins is back full health, and he has good instincts. He's not exactly the greatest corner or safety when it comes to coverage, but he does have good football instincts. Adding St. Juice had a lot of length. Adding a bunch of guys, having the guys we had last year will also help too. Kendall Fuller, Jimmy Moreland, you got a lot of guys out of ball hawks, and this offseason is probably one of the most different off seasons for our defensive backs than we've ever had. In the past, we haven't had great receivers. Our defensive backs in practice will look very good going up against crappy receivers. Now, you're playing McLaurin, you're playing De'Ami Brown, you're playing Cam Sims. Cam Sims is your fifth best receiver. Adam Humphries. You're actually having guys that are going to give our defensive backs a real look in practice, legitimate practice time. Okay, Terry McLaurin can't be up against every corner. Okay, it gets exhausting, so they can't do that. The only one that was really getting work was whoever was guarding McLaurin. Okay, now you don't have to. You have everyone getting work because our receiving core has elevated itself. Everyone has improved. Everyone's gotten better. So you don't have just one receiver and then a bunch of undrafted guys playing. You have multiple receivers that are good, and then you have multiple corners that have to cover those guys. Okay, so there's a combination of iron sharpens iron. Okay, you have the offense has gotten better, so the defense has got to get better defending the offense, and the defense is already very good, and now they're just going to get better because they're playing a better offense, and the offense is playing a good defense. Sorry about that. I'll turn that down that way again. Okay, so you have a lot of iron sharpening iron here, where there's a lot of improvements across the board that one thing is snowballing into another thing that's improving. And it's like that with offense and defense, but I'm talking about the defense and secondary. It's going to be better this year. We got better talent, got better players. We also, in free agency, we improved William Jackson III. So a lot of things across the board. Our secondary is going to get 10 plus. I'll go bold and say 12 plus interceptions. I think they'll get close to 1 a game, but I won't quite get there because I think some teams are gonna just concede and just run the ball on us and try to not pass as much because they're gonna realize it's gonna be troublesome. Let's put it that way. So that's the bold prediction I'm having about our secondary. Linebacking core. I don't really have a bold prediction there. I think Jamin Davis will win Rookie of the Year because he's going to lead the league in tackles. Because he's going to be able to roam free, and he's got the speed and everything just to go out there and do that. And he's going to be on the field a lot because if they play like a typical 4-3 with two safeties, 2 corners, he's going to be in there, whether it's at middle linebacker or on the Sam. If they do like a nickelback thing where they have 2 linebackers and they have 3 safeties, he's still going to be on the field because he's faster and he can cover better. So he's going to be out there and get a lot of playing time, and he's going to get a lot of tackles because they're not going to block him. They're going to spend so much money, or so much energy, I should say, blocking our defensive line that they're not going to have the time or the capability to block both. They're going to pick one or the other. Like, which one are we going to concede and lose at? Okay, we got to take care of the offensive line first, or defensive line first, and he's going to be able to roam free and make tackles. I think Cole Holcomb's going to have a good year too, but not nearly as good as Jamin Davis. Jamin Davis is another level, the best athletic linebacker I think Washington's probably ever drafted. I don't think that's a bold statement. We don't draft that many linebackers, to be honest, but he's the most athletic linebacker we've ever drafted. So let's go to the offense. Bold predictions on the offense. I think our offensive line by the end of the season will be a top 5 offensive line. I really do. Not just the starters, but I think we have depth. We have guys that can play, and like it's a mix and match thing where week to week, based on like injuries, being nicked up, whatever, we can start a pretty good amount of guys. So I can go across the board and I can name our starting 5. Right tackle, Samuel Cosme. Right guard is Brandon Sheriff. Center, obviously, is Chase Roulier. Left guard, is Wes Schweitzer. And left tackle is Charles Leno. Now, let's look at the backups. You have Cornelius Lucas. He's a swing tackle, play either tackle. You have Sadiq Charles, can play tackle and guard. You have Eric Flowers, can play tackle and guard. So right there, you're across the board. If you get one guy injured, you have someone you can plug in that has legitimate playing time and that legitimately knows how to play the position, what it is. The only thing I don't think we have I think Wes Schweitzer might be able to play center. So maybe that's where Wes Schweitzer has a little bit of versatility. He can play center as well, I think. But we also have Keith Ishmael right now is actually injured. So he was our he was our backup center. But I think we also have the opportunity, though, that I think Wes Schweitzer has the capability to do it. But yeah, you have that's a solid 5, and then you have Eric Flowers can play either guard, Sheik Charles can play guard or tackle, and then you also have Cornelius Lucas, who's a savvy veteran, swing tackle. He can play either. So offensive line, I think it's just maybe not starting 5 will be a top 5, but when you look at the depth on it, it's got good depth. And I'm probably missing a player. I might be missing someone in this that I'm not thinking off the top of my head. But we definitely have talent. We definitely have guys that have abilities, and we have the ability to put it together. Running backs, I have a bold prediction. Antonio Gibson is going to get over 1,000 yards rushing, probably about over another 500 yards receiving. He's going to have probably about 1,700 total yards of offense this year. 1,700 to 2,000. If he can stay healthy, he's the next Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey, when he peaked a couple years ago, he had over 1,000 yards receiving and like 1,500 yards rushing or something like that. And Antonio Gibson's supposed to be the next one, and there's an extra game. I think 2,000 yards is actually not asking that much from him. He has the ability to do it. He's just got to stay healthy, and he's definitely got like the speed, and he can catch the ball in the backfield, everything. Now that means J.D. McKissick targets may go down a little bit, but I think he'll still be a key part of the team. He'll still be helpful. I also think Jordan Patterson will be our third running back, and I think he'll actually do some things as well. For what I've heard from camp, he is electric, to say the least. He's fast. He's small, so he can hide behind guys, but he explodes in the hole and has great vision. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see what happens with that. I do not want to keep Peyton Barber and Lamar Miller. Okay, let the veterans go. Take the young guy. We have the ability to make him go. Just make sure that doesn't time out on me. Okay, cool. Don't take the old guy over the young guys. Okay, if you think you're making the practice squad, okay, maybe just so you can have next year. But I think Jordan Patterson can play this year, and I think he can be helpful this year. That's just my opinion. Okay. Next bold prediction. I think Terry McLaurin is going to break out this year and have 1,400 receiving yards, and he's going to have double-digit touchdowns. I think Logan Thomas is going to have double-digit red zone touchdowns. He may not have as many yards this year because there's more receiving. Last year he was a check down. Last year Alex Smith, as much as I personally liked Alex Smith, I think he's a good character guy. His game wasn't always the greatest, but he always found a way to win with whatever he had around him, whether it's by checking down a lot or whatever case may be. But last year, Alex Smith, it's the reason why Logan Thomas started surging late in the season, is Alex Smith was looking for his checkdowns more and more and more. And Logan Thomas is one of those checkdowns. So Logan Thomas got a lot of targets last year because of that. Now, am I saying Logan Thomas won't get as many looks? Probably not. He probably will get the same amount, because I think this team's going to pass a little bit more because they have the ability to pass more with Fitzpatrick. But he's always going to be, he'll never be the primary in something deep, at least for the most part. But he is very good in the red zone. Last year, red zone, there's a game in particular, I think it was against the Eagles, right at the half. Alex Smith threw to Logan Thomas. It was up high. It was only he could get to it. He got it, come down, took a hard landing, but he caught it. It's a couple years ago, and I'm going to use this as an example. And he's not a tight end, so it may not be a good comparison, but it reminded me of this play. We were playing the Chiefs. This is when we had Kirk Cousins, and we had Josh Dotson. We had a couple. I think Terrell Pryor may have been a receiver at the time. But I think the ball was still in the Josh Dotson end zone. It was put where only Josh could get it, and all he had to do was catch it and come down. He caught it, but when he come down, he put his left arm down to brace himself, and he lost control of the football. And I yelled some serious profanities, at that. I'm like, come on, you're gonna hit the ground anyway. You might as well catch it. And I yelled some horrible things. I yelled you effing female body parts. I mean, I don't want to say in this video because I don't want our video to get vulgar. But I yelled some horrible things about Josh Dotson. And the play where Logan Thomas catches the ball, takes a hard landing, but he caught the ball regardless, just reminds me so much of the change that we've had in our team. The mentality of our team has drastically shifted gears, and it's kind of a do what it takes to win mentality, and I'm enjoying it a lot because Logan Thomas in those plays kind of embodied that. He embodied that in what he did in that specific play. Just showing that there's a drastic difference between what Washington was and what Washington is. And I think Logan Thomas is going to get double-digit red zone touchdowns. He might get just double-digit touchdowns, period. But I'm talking solely red zone touchdowns. I think the offense is going to score a lot of points. Okay, I'm not kidding. We have a really good offensive line, a pretty good offensive line, a really good running game, diverse running backs. We have a really good, a much improved receiving core. Tight ends are much better this year. I just don't see how, and we have a better quarterback than last year. I don't see how all those things don't add up to a very good offensive output. And now here's my boldest prediction. Very bold. I'm not even BSing anyone. It is a bold prediction. The bold prediction I have is that Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to put up near 5,000 passing yards, 40 plus touchdowns. And he's not going to win this, but he will be in the MVP discussion. He'll be top 5 in MVP discussion. Okay? I really do think that's going to happen. Nothing about this tells me otherwise is going to happen. Here's why I think this, and I know this is a very crazy opinion to have. That Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's never even sniffed any of these things, is all of a sudden going to do it. And you ever heard of Rich Gannon? Rich Gannon a couple years back was like an average quarterback for the most part. He got on a team that had a lot of talent and a lot of weapons late in his career, and he had a late career surge. I think he even won MVP. Okay, I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is literally in the best situation he's ever been in. Okay, he's in the best situation he's ever been. He's got the best array of talent, even though I think Tampa actually had some pretty good talent for him as well. But I think he also has a more stable coach. I think Bruce Arians was his coach. No, this is a year before Bruce Arians, because Bruce Arians came out of retirement to coach Jameis Winston, and then the following year was when Tom Brady was there. So I don't think it was Bruce Arians. I think it was it Todd Bowles? It wasn't Todd Bowles. No, it was it might have been Todd Bowles. No, I can't think of who it was. It's not Lovie Smith. I can't think of who it is. But the offensive coordinator, the coach wasn't stable. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, based on sheer grit and grime, was able to put up some massive numbers. Okay? And I'm going to change this to there we go, McLaurin. Was able to just put up massive numbers just based on grit and grime and luck. Now, he had some pretty good receivers, but there wasn't stability. The defense wasn't what it is now. And I don't even think he was supposed to start, and somehow he ended up playing, starting later, like when he wasn't supposed to or something like that. Jameis Winston couldn't play or something. That's when he ended up starting, and that's when he had the best start ever. 2 back-to-back games with 4 touchdowns and 400 passing yards. And I don't think that's going to happen with here, but I think he's going to do well enough with our offense and what we have that he's going to he'll be in the MVP discussions. Not because it'd be a couple things. I think Washington's going to have a very good record, so that alone will get him just in the conversation. So that's part of it. But also you got to factor in you're going to have a good defense, so he's going to get a lot of opportunities to score. Okay, buddy, you can turn anytime now. Okay. He's going to get a lot of opportunities to score. We're going to get a lot of red zone opportunities. He's going to have a good red zone target. So I think it's going to make him more efficient. He's going to have a higher touchdown to interception ratio, have a better ratio. And I think Ron will have enough to reel him in and keep him grounded, so he doesn't have those games where he throws 3 or 4 interceptions and loses it for us. Okay, I think Ron is a smart enough coach where he's going to avoid all those things. So I think that's what the huge difference is between what was and what is. What was going on with the last coaches in the past, where it would just happen and we continue to keep passing or whatever, even if we have a lead. This one, I think Ron's more grounded. He's going to be, I'm going to say, smarter with his decisions, and I think he's going to make Ryan Fitzpatrick better because of that. It's probably the best coach that Ryan Fitzpatrick ever had. It's the best offensive weapons he's ever had, one of the best offensive lines, and probably the best defense he's ever played with. So all those things factor in to Ryan Fitzpatrick, who has always been, a good enough quarterback to win games, good enough quarterback to look good, so that he could actually have a legitimate, good season. And when I say good, I mean good, 4,500 to 5,000 passing yards. Okay, he's going to have over 40 touchdowns. He'll probably have about 15 picks, maybe 17, 1 per game. That'll probably be what it is. He'll average 1 per game. But he'll also end up getting almost, I don't want to say 3 touchdowns a game because that'll put him in the 50s, but 2.5 touchdowns a game. So that'll put him right around 40. So he'll probably go 41 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. That sounds like a pretty good ratio to me. And it sounds appropriate based on, what he's done in the past. He'll probably actually get 20 interceptions, to be honest. But I hope his off the positive stats, the touchdowns, are skewed up because of that. And that's my bold prediction. I think he'll be I don't think he'll win the MVP, but I think he'll be in the MVP discussion for all the reasons I mentioned. He'll have a lot of touchdowns. He won't have as many interceptions, or the interceptions he has, he'll be way outbalanced by the touchdowns will outbalance it. We'll tip the scale. He might have 23 interceptions, but he might have 45 touchdowns. And we have a defense that can compensate for those kind of interceptions if that happens. But I don't think he's going to have that many. I think Ron's going to keep him grounded. Like I said, it's the best, everything he's ever had. Best coach, best receiving weapons, maybe in the best tight ends, so on and so forth, that Ryan Fitzpatrick ever had. So, yeah, that's my bold prediction. This has been my video. Please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. What is your bowl prediction for this season? What do you think Washington do record-wise? Do you think Fitzpatrick is going to be going to have like a good season, or do you think he'll be bad and then Taylor Heineke will finish the season? What is your thoughts on that? Let me know in the comment section down below. But this is Washington Football Report. This is JD. See ya.